This is the greenhouse update, April 28th. The last, I think, was 2 weeks ago, April 13th. So let's see what we got. Our beets are doing pretty good. Good germination here. I'll probably have to thin them out eventually, but I might let them go, see what happens. We've got a greens mix here that will be a bunch of mixed greens. This is Swiss chard and beets and some green, mixed greens that I've put in here. These are all from seed. Then here we have the spinach that's been growing for a while. It's a smaller leaf spinach, but you can see the difference between what I transplanted in from tiny seedlings to what I direct seeded at the same time. So you can see they're a little bit behind, maybe like a 2 or 3 weeks behind. We've got lettuce here, Salanova lettuce I planted from seed, and some red and green mixed leaf lettuce. I think it's called La Rosa or something. Green leaf. All these yellow things are sticky traps. I've been having trouble with fungus gnats because the fungus gnat larvae, they eat the roots of the plants, of baby plants. So you can see how many of the adults I've got on there. The adults don't really eat plants or anything, but they do produce babies. So I have about maybe 15 of those in here, trying to get rid of those. I've been leaving the windows open more, and that seemed to bring the humidity down and help. So here's our radishes that we grew from seed. A couple hundred radishes we've got in here. Yeah, they're doing good. They should be ready to pick actually in a couple weeks. I might have to pick some before the first market in CSA. Here's our kale and Asian greens area. All of these are transplanted. We've got some dandelion, some, I think it's called Chicora, dandelion, kale, scarlet kale, and lacinato kale. I think that one's called blue something kale. Then we've got our Asian greens, which are Honsai Thai and Yodfa. Yodfa is called Chinese broccoli. Over here, we've got arugula growing in the back there. And up front here, some more kale. And I just threw in my microgreens mix, which is kale, mizuna, I think maybe some other greens. I know there's Japanese red mustard, Japanese giant red mustard in there. Let's see, maybe some brassicas like tatsoi or something. And I know there's arugula in there too. So I'll wait till that gets big and sell it as like baby greens. Harvest it for baby greens. And here we've got our purple lady bok choy and some other stuff mixed in there. I seeded some extra of this, and it's coming up nicely. Might have to thin some of those eventually, but usually what I do is I'll cut some for harvest and let the other ones grow bigger. You can see some back there. And over here we've got mustard, a bunch of different kinds of mustard. I think I have Southern Giant mustard. I have, there's one called Green Wave, which might be this back one. And Komatsuma, which is like an Asian mustard. That might be actually what's in the back. And the Green Wave, I think, is in the front. Then in this smaller These smaller leaf purple are called scarlet frills lettuce. Mustard. So if you look at that, it's got a pretty cool, get some of the stuff off of it. Pretty cool shaped leaf. I'm sure it's really tasty. All the mustards are. And you can see like there's a bunch of dust. I'm using diatomaceous earth, which is the skeletons, or it's like fossilized algae that they get out of the ocean. And it's really sharp, so ants and different little beetles in the soil get cut on it, and it gets rid of them organically without any chemicals. Here we have some really nice looking black summer bok choy. It's looking really good and doing well in the greenhouse. I have some other bok choy and tatsoi seeded here in the next to it in the same bed. And then over here we have our tennis ball lettuce, which is growing slow but doing pretty good. It's, I think, about every one that I've seeded in this front row germinated. They're a small head lettuce. So I wanted to space them out. And in the back we've got some other lettuce seeded. Other than that, we've got the outside stuff growing. I think this stuff is doing pretty good. Should be ready for the first farmers market and CSA the end of May.